It's the 20th of October and I'm doing Vlogtober. My name's Barbara Radzevicius and I'm Bondi crafter and I'm out getting some sun. I needed to get some sun. So welcome to my channel and let's have a look around today. In the middle of this empty space where a petrol station used to be, there is one lone plant that is flowering. It is so beautiful. It has little purple flowers. Wow. Just walked under this eucalyptus, I think it's eucalyptus, right at the bus stand, and it's shading the bus seat. But look at the beautiful flowers all over. They are so beautiful. And they're all over it. It's Friday and I've come over to see my friend Judith, and this is what she is going to talk about, her latest quilt. Okay, so I did this last night and it's way too large because, well, it's my fault. At the last moment I decided to add this pink and these bluey purple flowers. They're more blue than purple. Hydrangeas. Just to make sure it was big enough. Of course it ended up way too big because this would be good for a double bed, but I'm making it for a single bed. So I just have to decide which, it's pretty much squarish. I just have to decide which side to chop off and turn into another quilt. So do I want my seam lines going that way or that way, is what I was asking myself. And I laid it out and I took a few photos. Shall I show you the photos? Hang on. Photos. So there. The rectangle photos are the ones where I've trimmed some off with my camera thing, you know, in post editing of the photo, and the square ones are the original. So that's an original photo from different angles. And I'm thinking I like this one. Judith likes with the vertical lines, yeah, the seam lines going vertically. I like horizontal, but it's her quilt. So yeah. So there's one of the horizontal versions, I think. No, there's one. Yeah. And turned upside down. Yeah. There's the other. They both look good. No, I must go. There's the other. Yeah. So yeah, it's just one of those things, and I've been dithering, but the easiest, well, there's just two solutions. Either just cut some off, rotary cut some off, or unpick this line over here. And then this bit would then be halved, or yeah, probably halved, and re-sewn together to make a small quilt, a baby quilt. But yeah, if I hadn't at the last minute decided to add two fabrics, but I do rather like stripes. I just have a thing about stripes and ombres, so it's kind of the sort of thing I would do. Love stripes. I do love stripes, especially in one of these random pieced. Haven't even pressed this one yet.
Yeah.
I just did it.
And beautiful fabrics.
Well, yeah, but I put together a palette, and my cousin cousin's daughter that it's going to, chose the ones that she wanted out of it. The request was pink and blue and flowers, and I didn't know if she'd want sort of brights like this or soft pastels.
Yeah.
So I actually put together 2 palettes. She chose the brights and cut out 3 fabrics, and I thought, God, this is perfect. When it actually came to make it, yeah.
It's lovely.
But I'm happy with how it turned out, except that, of course, I'm now going to need to. So yeah, this is the question. The quickest way to do it would just be to rotary cut.
Yeah.
Hang on. This one's only centimetres, and I think in inches when I'm quilting.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so if I do it that way, oh, it's not quite 72. It looks like it's come out at 70. I estimated 72 because I was cutting 5-inch strips, so that should have worked out.
I love
to
5-inch
72.
strips.
They're good. I like 5-inch, but I also like 4-inch, and occasionally I do 3 or 3.5. I just like the style, you know, the random strips. Okay, and if I do it this way, let's turn it around and see. This way. Then there's the fold line, and this one's even slightly shorter. It's just short of 70.
Ah. So the fabrics are mainly K-facet, but there are a few, maybe 1 or 2 others.
Okay, so Free Spirit.
Yeah.
And K-facet. Oh, this one is Fantasy 2 by Oasis Fabrics.
Oh, that's different.
Yes, this is a Devonstone, I think. No, Ruby Star Society.
Oh, and this one has a lovely selvage.
Yeah. This one I only used a little bit of, and
The
I've got
hydrangeas.
the rest of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can probably find it. And this one's Dogs in the City.
Would never have guessed that.
No, it's not really what you'd expect. Okay, so here's the hydrangeas. And that's Holly Holderman, Hydrangea Blossom, Lake House Dry Goods.
That is a lovely blue.
It is, and I've used it in other colours. And of course all of these selvages I cut off for you.
Thank you.
So there you are.
Thank you. Judith is deciding on how wide she's going to have it and where she's going to cut.
If I take it to there, that would be 50 inches. And that's cutting just at that spot.
It's a big decision.
I think I want to cut it there actually. So it'll be about 54.
Is that 54 wide?
Yeah.
Okay.
So checking all things. Okay. Just just need to grab my rotary cutter. I can actually cut left-handed, but it's not as good. My right arm is stronger. Okay, so I'll just have to unpick that tiny bit, trim that bit off. Here's the bit that I cut off.
That might also make a nice binding.
Well, maybe I was kind of wondering whether I want to make the quilt a bit longer and just add a thing, you know, going in the other direction.
Yep.
And here is the quilt.
Okay.
Now to decide whether it's this way up or this way up.
Yeah.
I don't really have to decide at this stage.
Do you know you've got the stripes going horizontal?
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking.
Yes, I knew that sort of cutting some off would mean horizontal and unpicking it would mean vertical. And in the end I went with the quickest solution because I hate unpicking.
Me too. I think everyone does.
And I liked it both ways, so
Yeah.
you know, if it's that much difficulty deciding which way to do it, then I might as well do the easy one. And yeah, so the question is whether I want to add a bit extra at one or both ends, which would then be going in the other direction. So let's just I think if I'm adding it, I'll probably add it at both ends. And so then I would get like a piece.
It's a lovely flower garden quilt.
A piece kind of like that.
Yeah. That looks really nice.
Which, yeah, I think that's what I want to do. So the first thing I'll do is just make sure I've got it the right length, and then I'll cut it in half. Back into, you know, some sort of empty space that I can work on. Which is nice to do.
Space. We all want space.
Okay, so that would mean cutting through right there, or cutting a little bit there and cutting a bit off there to match.
The pinks. I think the pink stripes look really nice together, sort of like that.
Yeah, but I think that's gonna work either way. I'm inclined to cut the same off both.
Yep.
So
It's nice that in too.
that means just
The colours are lovely.
double check. Yeah, so I'll cut an extra inch here and then I'll remeasure.
This is a piece that was cut off the side.
Yeah. I'm gonna fold it again so it'll be easier to cut. And then I'm actually gonna get around to, you know, pressing it. Or maybe I'll join it before I press.
Yeah, join it first, then press.
Okay. So measure 14.5. So I don't have to be really totally exact. I'm going to go with 7.25 though, which is about there. So I don't think it's going to matter if I'm, you know, half an inch off or anything like that. Well, I can always true up the edges when I'm ready. Okay. So, oh. Pick one. I think I might do it the other way.
Yeah. That's it.
Like that. Yeah.
How's the other piece look there? It'll be nearly the same, wouldn't it? Or it would be the same.
Could be that way.
Yeah.
Or it could be the problem with big quilts is finding space to lay them out.
Yeah.
And I do actually have that sort of wall space in my library that I can do it. But
Yeah.
it's just I think I like the other one.
Yes.
Okay. So that one's
Decisions
gonna
made.
get there. I'll just pin it so that that way.
I like those long pins too. It is really handy to pin so you don't lose where you're up to.
Yeah. I think it's always good to pin if you're sort of adding something long.
Yeah.
You don't always have to pin otherwise. Depends what you're doing. Okay, so always pin. This is the direction I'm going to be sewing in, from there to there. And then I stretch it as much as I can to find a point approximately in the middle, so that I can make sure that it's going to sew flat and not be bunched up at one end and
Yeah.
and stretched out at the other. So, making sure.
Yeah, once you've decided on which fabric you want to join to which one, you don't want to get them mixed up again. Otherwise you end up with something different, which happens to me.
Which I've been known to do as well. Okay, so that's close enough together. And now let's look at the other.
Pressing's always fun.
Do you like pressing?
Not really.
No.
But it has to be done.
Some people love it.
Yeah.
You know, they love to see the wrinkles come out and the
Yeah.
smooth.
I do like
Out
it
of-
smooth.
You know, so. I always, when I'm pinning the end, always hold it down
Yeah.
on the edge like that so that it doesn't push the fabrics. Okay, this looks about good. It's not actually exactly in the middle, because if it was, it would have to be on one of these lines, because there's 16 lines across. You always end up with a multiple of 4 if you're doing your utility quilt the Jelly Roll Raceway, which ever since I saw it, that's the way I've been doing it. Just, yeah, I thought so. That seemed to go that way. The advantage to pressing in between stages is that you're more likely to have your seams going in the right direction.
So do you like the nesting thing with seams?
Yes. I mean, it doesn't really come into play with this because you don't get seams that nest. But with other things that I make, I always nest. And now I have something else to show you that I also did this week.
Great.
Which is hidden away skulls. Okay, this is for your granddaughter.
This is beautiful.
This is the backing fabric, and this
Oh, it's lovely.
is. So I just have to decide.
It's really lovely.
I just have to decide whether to have any bias binding going across, because I've got 4 seams where it could go.
Yeah, I think just the vertical looks really good.
Okay, cool. In that case, it's pressed and ready to go.
Wow.
And I haven't got a good picture of it, so actually, let me hold it up for you, and you can hopefully get a good picture of it.
Hang on, I will stop the video.
So, well, that's my process. I love doing random utility quilts, and when I do them, I just curate a palette of fabrics, cut them in both directions usually, equal width strips, and just let her rip and decide at the end of it what I'm going to do. Sometimes I leave it as is, and sometimes I cut it into smaller chunks and repiece it. And sometimes I use a process I saw in an Anita Halleck book, where you cut off a right angled triangle at the top and attach it to the bottom, and then you cut off a right angled triangle at the left and attach it to the other side. And yeah, you get a different sized quilt, usually different sized, and everything's on the diagonal. So those are fun too.
Wow. Well, thanks, Judith. This has been a fun activity.
Well, I like getting more stuff out.
That's great. Love you.
Love.
So this is in the quilting pile, ready to be quilted. The queue. This is lovely.
And there's this one.
This is Judith's quilting pile.
Which,
Isn't that lovely?
I could have satin stitched or zigzag stitched or something around the edges before I basted it, but I'm thinking I'm probably just gonna stitch around a few times as I'm quilting.
That's lovely.
And this one,
Jelly beans. So yeah, you do have a bit of quilting to do.
yes, all of those were pieced or basted just before.
That is
supply.
lovely. And a nice
And
big quilt.
I still haven't quilted this one,
And this is lovely.
other than all the straight guidelines, which you can maybe see on the side.
Lovely back too. Yeah.
I thought for a moment that was a thread, but it's actually the fabric.
Yeah.
And this half quilted one, which one day I will go back to.
This is a whip.
Yeah. And it's been sitting there for, I don't know, how many years? Maybe 3 years to 5 years. How long?
This one's got this one's got a very Japanese type theme to it, I would say, but isn't it lovely? I'm not sure whether they're carp or goldfish.
Is there really a difference? Aren't carp just big goldfish?
Probably. Yeah.
I forgot that was waiting for me, and I really need to get it done.
It's a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one with a
Dinosaur.
flannelette backing.
Yeah.
That was what she chose.
That is really good to get the flannelette not to buckle and things. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
It is just lovely.
Huge. It's probably the biggest one I've ever done. Although for a lot of people, I think it's 82 inch.
It is
square.
really big, Judith.
For a lot
and
of people, that's, you know, not the biggest thing they ever do, but it's the biggest one that I've ever done.
yeah,
I think.
it is pretty big.
And yeah.
And you're going to quilt it on your
On
Sweet
my
16.
Sweet 16, yeah, when
Yeah.
I made a bit of space.
Yeah.
And it's like I chose a lightweight batting to make it easier,
Yeah.
but it's still gonna be pretty hard on my
Reckon.
body, my arms, my shoulders. And I'm just gonna do, you know, a stipple, not too close, just meander over it.
Yep. Love meandering.
Or
The fabric's beautiful.
I suppose I might do the loopy thing, but I find meandering is what.
Yeah, I do loopies only because I forget where I'm going with the meander.
Oh, I do too, and you know, because even though I got new glasses at the beginning of the year, I really have trouble seeing when I'm stitching what I've already stitched until I reach it. So, you know, I'm thinking I've got tons of free space, and suddenly, oops, I'm crossing a line. But yeah, lovely
Yeah.
set of fabrics.
Lovely. When did you say you had this deadline for this was?
Well, either November or December, and yeah, that's only a couple of weeks away. So it's gonna, I suppose, have to be the first on my list.
Yeah, you're going to have to divide it into sections.
It's actually already divided into sections, just kind of lengthwise sections. See?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But each of these sections is fairly wide.
Isn't that amazing to have the flannel so nice and flat? It's great.
So yeah,
Yeah.
stuff to do. Yeah, I better actually leave this one unfolded and open so I don't forget it. Oh, that's the rest of the Tula layer cake. You know, that I haven't used yet.
Yeah.
I used some of it on a baby quilt, and I used some of it on that wonky 4-patch quilt. Super wonky 4-patch. And yeah.
Yeah.
So if I move all of these
Exciting patch there.
here, then I might actually have some space to work.
Isn't this beautiful?
I've got quite a bit of it, you know, if you want some. I think I have about
That's
2
okay.
meters.
I probably have some too.
So this is my current embroidery, which I just chose to do a really, really simple pattern because the last few were too complex decisions at everything as I was designing, as I was stitching. I always design as I stitch. So this one I just used a basic sort of wave pattern, and I thought I'll just mix up the colors.
It's lovely.
And I did the frames. You know, I got it to where it was filled in like that. And then there was such a long gap between the next time I picked it up that I couldn't remember what colors I had intended to put where. So instead of going color by color, which is the way I usually work, I decided that this one is going to be... I just started filling in colours where I'd sort of remember them. So I'm going to have a mid-purple over there between these 2 shades of purple. And I'm going to have a lilac, this light lilac over here. And after I've done that, the middle bit there is going to be the darker green. And the middle bit there is going to be this lighter green.
Lovely.
So those are my plans.
Yeah.
And I will see how I go with doing them. You know, and then I'll think I'll probably have lilac up there and the pale orange. I didn't have a run of the pink. Or maybe that colorway just doesn't run very well. So it's pink and a medium pink and an orange.
Yeah.
Goes more orange.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like them together. So.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, but this green is so sort of bright that it comes out yellow in my photos.
That's pretty good here. They're really nice.
Yeah, so I don't know how long it's going to be till I next pick it up because, you know, these days mostly only in doctors' waiting rooms or things like that.
Yeah, it's handy, portable.
Yeah, and I've got my knitting too, so sometimes I take my knitting instead.
Yeah. That's me signing off for today, friends. It was an interesting day. I had a nice visit to Judith, and that was always nice. And yeah, then we went down to the beach. It was a beautiful day. So thanks for watching, and see you maybe Sunday or Monday. Bye, friends.